Welcome back. In the last video, I showed you how you can look up why your cash or may have increased or decreased. Today, or next in this video, we are going to start researching some things looking at the 10K, which is our financial statement filing with the SEC. Okay, so let's see what we want to go look up. So I'm going to go back to what I turned in for phase 3. And I've got all of these things. I already did cash, and I've got my write-up down here. But let me see. Why don't I look at the increase in deferred tax assets? Okay, so I'm going to go to my financial statements, and I'm going to go back to my income statement variance or my balance sheet variance analysis, and I'm going to see that my deferred tax assets, oh my goodness gracious, look at that. They increased by 93%, 1.3 billion or 93%. So I want to find out why the heck that happened. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I am going to go get my 10K. So I'm going to go to the SEC website, www.sec.gov. I'm going to go to filings. And search company filing search. Okay. And let's make this smaller. And I am going to look up Oracle. So ORCL is my ticker symbol. And then I want to look up the 10K. So I'm going to type in 10-K. All right. So here's my most recent 10K. Remember last time I had you go to interactive data to download your financial statements? Now I'm going to have you go to documents instead. And you're going to get the full text version of your 10K. This really needs to go somewhere else. Okay. So here's my 10K. It's this top one here. So I'm going to open that up. All right. So now I have my 10K. Before we proceed further, do not print this out. It's going to be 100-something pages. You're going to be super sad if you print it, and so is everybody else in your house. Do not print this out. The other thing is, if you would like to, you're more than welcome to read the entire thing. All the power to you. I probably don't want to do that. So instead, what I'm going to do is use the search function. So if I hit on my keyboard Control F, that's the search. It brings up the search box up here, and then I'm going to type in what I'm looking for. So I'm going to type in deferred tax asset and hit enter. And this tells me there's 28 places deferred tax asset is mentioned within this 10K. So now I'm going to look through them. So this first section where it's listed here, this is just telling me how they account for deferred tax assets. You can read through it. It's only a paragraph, so it's not like it's going to take a long time. But I know this isn't going to give you my answer because I already looked here. So I'm going to keep moving. But now what do I have here? It says for fiscal 2019 and 2018, the applicable jurisdiction rate. Here we go. A tax benefit arising from the increase of a deferred tax asset associated with a partial realignment of our legal structure. So they got a tax benefit, which is an increase to the deferred tax asset, or they're telling you it's an increase to the deferred tax asset associated with a partial realignment of our legal structure. So I am going to just go back over here, and I'm just going to write that down. And let me see, what did they say? It was a partial realignment of their legal structure. Their legal structure. My friends actually worked on that. Probably not supposed to know that, so There we go. All right, let's see what else it says, because that may not be the only reason. Okay, so let's keep looking. Why do you not want to go? Okay, here we go. So now maybe it'll go. If I hit enter, it's not. It's going to make me go down. Okay, I'm just going to type it in again. Tax asset. Okay, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we already looked at 8. Let me see what it says here. It says the favorable impact of a tax benefit arising from the increase in a deferred tax asset associated with a partial alignment of our legal structure. Okay, so that's pretty much the same thing. This is just showing you where it is on the balance sheet. I've already seen that. Oh, this is the impacts of adopting Topic 606, which is an accounting statement. And it looks like they did, oh, it actually looks like they decreased their deferred tax asset because of that. So that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. Says they remeasured their deferred tax asset. Okay, so this is actually talking about the impact of the Tax Jobs and Cuts Act, and it's not saying, it's just saying they remeasured the deferred tax asset, but not why. And let me see. We record deferred tax assets for stock-based compensation awards that result in deductions of certain of our income taxes. Okay. This one, it's not really clear how the stock-based compensation impacts deferred tax asset. Oh yeah, so it's increasing. It's kind of hard to tell. And we may have to go through a few of these together, but it says they record deferred tax assets, which means they increase deferred tax asset for stock-based compensation awards that result in deductions on certain of our income tax returns. Okay, so basically what this is saying is if they're able to take a deduction on their return when they give away stock-based compensation, like stock options or just shares of stock, that they think they're going to have to pay stock on that later, so that, or it'll go into income tax later. It didn't go into income tax now, so then that's an asset, kind of like a prepaid asset. I'm going to add that. So also portions of stock-based compensation that allowed for deductions on income tax returns. Okay, and let's see if we can find anything else that we find interesting. Valuation allowance. Okay, so this tells us actually what's in deferred tax asset and how it compares to last year. So accruals and allowances went down a little bit. Employee compensation and benefits actually went down, so I may take that out. But here is the big two things that increased. So the first is basis of property, plant, and equipment and intangible assets, and tax credit and net operating loss carryforwards. And a net operating loss carryforward is basically if you have a loss one year, you can carry that forward and offset future income so that you don't have to pay taxes on future income. So it looks like we had about a $1.1 billion increase because of tax credit and not operating loss carryforwards, and a $1.2 billion increase because they changed the basis of property, plant, and equipment and intangible assets. And the basis is basically what it's sitting on your books at, although this would be the tax books. So let me add those things. And I think that's probably going to be enough. I'll continue looking through it. So we're going to get rid of this because we said it actually went down because of that. But we said basis PP&E, which is property, plant, and equipment, and intangible assets. And what was the other thing we said? Tax credit and not operating loss carryforwards. Okay, and let's just go back to this, see if there's anything else that we want to add. Let's hide that. This is just scrolling through that same section. This is just saying that they believe they'll be able to take advantage of their deferred tax assets, so that doesn't really help me. And now I'm back to the beginning. Okay, so I have the information I need. And I know this seems like a little bit of work, and it is, but if you scroll through, you can look at these things. If you look and you find what you're looking for, but you don't know what it means, just reach out to me. Copy and paste it into an email, come to my office hours, you know, we can look at it together. Totally not a big deal. All right, but let me do my write-up here. So deferred tax asset increased by, so remind ourselves what it increased by, 1.3 billion and 93%. By 1.3 billion and 93%, primarily due to, they said it was the partial realignment of legal structure, so I'm going to do that. Partially due to or primarily due to the partial realignment of the company's legal structure, as well as changes in the basis of, I'm just going to write fixed asset, no, I'll write property, plant, and equipment, tangible assets, and tax credits and net operating loss carryforwards. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this because those were just my notes. And that's really all I need to write. Okay, so I'm not looking for 1 to 2 pages. I'm just looking for 1 to 2 paragraphs that basically tells me you researched it and you understand why that change happened. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. And let's see, let's get this big again. Hopefully this was helpful, and it gave you an idea how to look for stuff. And again, if you find stuff in your 10K and you're just thinking like, but I don't know what this means, reach out to me and we'll look at it together. Okay, this is meant to be collaborative. I'm not expecting you to understand everything you read. You may understand a lot of what you read, and that would be awesome. But this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth. But I think when we get to the other side, you're going to really feel like you understand the company you're researching. So hopefully that was helpful to get you started. And remember, again, don't start researching anything until you go into Canvas and make sure I have signed off on your selections from phase 3. All right, Have a great one, everyone. Happy researching.